Welcome back to Houselights, your one-stop shop for everything you need to hear about this week in the world of entertainment. As always, I'm your host, Liz Noss, and I am joined by my beautiful, wonderful co-host,
Claire Donahoe,
who's now in this seat.
Yeah, we switched
And I'm in this seat. Because let's change it up this season.
Because it's a new year.
It's a new year.
Yeah.
It's a new Houselights. It's a new us. And there's a lot of static in this place.
Yeah, if there's a static.
If you hear me go, it's because there's static in my headphones because it's sweater weather. And yeah.
Okay. What are we talking about today, Liz?
We're talking about a little bit of everything, and that's why it's only us, because we're the only ones. Well, and of course Taylor, but Taylor's contractually obligated to stand hearing us talk about something that's not on a topic.
Right. So Taylor asked me how was my winter break, and I just kind of couldn't answer because all of my notes are just things that I did over winter break, and I didn't want to have to put Taylor through that twice. So
right. Well, because it's been really hard for us because we try and have the policy of not podcasting before the podcast.
But we are friends.
Unfortunately, we are friends. We do hang out every single day. And one thing is that we're going to see each other every single day this entire semester.
Yes, because Liz and I not only work here together at the State News, but we also work at the Writing Center on Michigan State's campus, and also
we have a class together.
And also our friends that schedule time to hang out outside of those obligations.
So it's a lot.
So
I don't know who's going to get sick of who first.
If you notice anything in upcoming episodes, just whether it be good or bad, just know that shift is likely just a reaction to us spending every waking moment together.
Guys,
but I think it'll be positive.
It's not going to be bad.
Yeah, it won't be bad.
Don't say that.
Anyways,
let's
talk about winter break.
Let's talk about winter break. I wrote down a lot of entertainment stuff. Mm-hmm. I wrote down just some activities that I was doing.
Yeah.
Would you like me to start with just my general break activities?
I think we should just follow our note sheet. So we'll open up with what we did and then get into reads, watches, listens.
Yes. So you went places. I didn't. So I very much don't. I went from East Lansing to home, back to East Lansing. Mm-hmm. So what I did is quite boring. No. And I would like to. Okay, so there's a couple things that have to do with past episodes of Houselights.
Okay.
One of them is I read a Colleen Hoover book, which I have in the past maybe shit on a little bit, maybe. But I actually really enjoyed Verity by Colleen Hoover. I think it's because it's not a romance, and she just really loves to go crazy on terrible trauma romance stuff. Okay. And this one was more like a mystery. So I think that's what made it better.
Okay.
So I did read it in one night. I read it in 6 hours. Because when I read, and this is me actually proving my literacy, because I know that I don't read often, and it may seem by the way that I am that I don't know how to read. When I want to read and I make the time, I can read books in actual hours.
You heard it here first, everybody.
But only if I let my phone die first.
If you put your phone in a lockbox, yeah.
Yeah, I feel I'm such an iPad baby, but I let my phone die, or I'll just chuck it across the room. Mm-hmm. Do not disturb, chuck it across the room, and I can read for 4 hours straight and finish a book.
And you got to do what you got to do.
And I did that. I made some playlists, as I do.
Duh.
There's a new disco one. There's a couple that deal with my emotional state at the moment. And of course, a cowpoke function
what
playlist.
Do I even want
country?
Oh, duh.
Just a little bit of country. It was me and Jack,
country.
Houselights' favorite.
Who asked if he could come back on to talk about Yellowstone, which we'll
talking about cowpoke.
Get into. Yeah, speaking of country playlists and such, and we had to tell him no.
You've hit your quota.
But if the people hear that and there's an outcry for Jack Williams to return, do not be shy. Let us know.
Do not be shy. Let us know. And also, he's going to have his own podcast very soon. And plugging. Ooh, I forgot if it's reeling it in or reeling in.
Reeling in.
Reeling in. I've been getting it wrong for weeks.
Yeah.
It's reeling in, and it's going to be next Tuesday, I think, is the first ever episode. So it's very exciting.
We just hope he doesn't forget his roots here on Houselights, and now he's spread his wings and he's doing his own thing.
He's going to talk about movies, even though we We literally talk about.
He just wants to come back on Houselights.
Whatever. He just he wants
good.
his own, and it's a bit of appropriation, but it's fine.
So you made a playlist with him.
I made a playlist.
Cowpoke.
I made a lot of lists in general. I used my notes app quite a bit.
Thank you for being honest about that, because
I love my
appreciate
notes
that.
app. Honestly, if you open my notes app, should have its own lock.
We should do an episode going through our notes app. Because that's a
I
trend
would
right now, or it was at
be
least.
booed off the internet, I think.
No.
Because the first thing I'm about to talk about is notes app poetry in your childhood bed.
Well, what else is winter break for, Liz?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So I did a lot of really bad notes app poetry because you just have a lot of thoughts and emotions because you're finally left with it when you don't have schoolwork to do or work.
And you're back home, absolutely.
And so I did that. I also listed out all of my least likable traits in my notes app.
Wait, about
me.
Oh.
And I think it's a really good exercise to do. Maybe not for your mental health, but I think that it's good to just be aware of things because that's the first step. And so one of my New Year's resolutions was be a person that is likable. And so I was like, okay, how can I fix this? If you just write down all of your least likable traits. And then also I read it to many of the closest people in my life and they said, you're crazy.
We unfortunately don't have all the time to get into all of that here on this episode.
Therapy lights.
But
this is Houselights. So,
but we will be off camera. Just know.
Yeah, and
talking about that, and
with that, I also started up my letterbox again.
Girl's got a release. What can we say?
Girl has to write. No, and honestly, the biggest part of all these things connect each other is that I've never been able to just have an opinion in my head once. People have to know about it. It has to be written down. It has to be somewhere outside of my own brain, or else did I even have that thought?
Certainly, there's a word for that.
I even made a list of things. Talking about my brain, I made a list of things on the way back from my, driving down home of, what I can blame my frontal lobe development on. Enjoying using an electric toothbrush. I feel like that's a frontal lobe development moment.
As in, you're maturing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I also play... I also played some video games.
Oh.
I reconnected with Mario Baseball. Thank you, Jack Williams. We now have a leaderboard in our house, and I am the reigning champion of Mario Baseball. Thank you. And then I also downloaded Cooking Mama and Papa's Wingeria for iPhone.
Taylor's giving 2 thumbs up behind the camera for both of them.
But yeah, so Papa's Wingeria, absolutely fire. Cooking Mama, there's a little too many ads. And that's not what I experienced on the DS. So it's just not matching my childhood experience. What'd you do over break?
Thank you for sharing those things, Liz.
Oversharing?
No, never. Mainly, I hung out with my dog. I drove my little brother to the gym, and I nursed an unhealthy Instagram obsession. And I applied to a lot of jobs.
Talk about Instagram obsession. I don't care about your job.
I was about to actually say no further comment on the jobs because...
Oh, well, me neither. Rejection letters.
My Instagram obsession. We've talked about this on here before. I just love that stupid app. I just think it's funny. I think it's silly. I don't care that I'll dump a million things at once and then leave.
But we're hearing from the newsroom that people like it.
And you know what? That warms my heart.
Thank
because,
God.
I don't know. It's good exposure therapy if you think that you are sometimes irritating. Doing something like this and just being like, it's an app, it doesn't matter. This is hard to explain outside of my head, but it's just so funny and silly. And I love it. With that, I posted a lot of pictures. Love a story. Posted a lot of pictures from my trip to Hawaii that I went on.
It was beautiful.
With my extended family. It very much was. It was awesome. When I came back into town, I wrapped up winter break by going out in my hometown, which was a unique experience.
Oh, God.
Because I've lived in the same place my whole life. And they just added a couple bars. And I turned 21, almost a full year ago.
Nice.
But this was the first time I really was like, okay, I'm going to go out in Rochester Hills, Michigan. I'm going to get a drink with my friends. It was very fun.
Did you see anyone from high school?
No, we went on a Tuesday night. We just got drinks. It was wonderful. Usually I can't go anywhere without seeing someone from high school, and it is what it is. Winter break is all about seeing where you grew up in a slightly different light. And by different, I also kind of mean a little bit uncomfortable. But fortunately, I was able to see a lot of friends from home So that makes it better returning
Yeah.
home. And hanging out with my family is cool too. In that same vein, I went to my cousin's cheer competition, which was held at my rival high school.
Ooh.
It was nothing short of a life-changing experience. I don't know if you've ever been to a cheer competition.
Been in one.
Have you now?
I have.
They're crazy.
They're insane.
So she's in middle school, but oh my God, you would have thought this was like
Oh yeah, they're bringing it
like
on.
the Olympics. It's
Bringing it on 1, 2,
the
and 3.
parents are standing up in the stands doing the cheer back.
awesome.
Then I learned that there's cheers that sometimes the parents are sent in advance so that they can participate, so they know what's
Wow.
happening. The coaches.
You weren't sent that?
Well, no.
Ugh.
Me and my grandma rolled up. They sell stuff. We rolled up. We sat quietly to ourselves. We passed tables and tables of like bows you could buy, all this stuff you could buy.
Wow.
It's outside the gym.
Merch.
Then we found out that the high school varsity competition was right after, and I was like, oh my God. And I heard that one's even more intense. The gym was full. I was just like, this is a crazy, talk about seeing people from high school. I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Wow.
For some context, I played soccer, and soccer parents are generally pretty intense. And I ran cross country, and cross country parents are generally not intense. It's probably the chillest sport you could put your kid in because they run in circles and stop. There is no buying merch on the way. I was just fascinated, put it that
Yeah,
way.
it's beautiful.
It was a lot. She did really well, so that was great.
Yeah. My mom was a very like chill cheer mom when I was in cheer.
Absolutely.
She was just like, yeah, I don't really like any of the moms here, so I'm gonna go down the street for a couple hours while you do this, and
Right.
I'll come pick you up. And I was like, period. But I also was in dance and musicals, and those parents are very.
Those parents are also, yeah.
They like have their
Yeah.
own like boosters and everything,
absolutely.
and like do the fundraising.
Which, power
It's
to
a
you,
lot.
but yeah, my aunt and uncle, just on the record, they are not crazy cheer parents. They're very chill about it. And my parents were not crazy soccer parents. My dad actually sat purposefully, like, on the opposite end of whatever bleachers. He took it a little far there, but anyway. I became attached to a photo of Granny Smith over winter break. Granny Smith is a cat I almost adopted as kind of like a rash decision off of the Michigan Humane Society website.
Yeah.
She's a 10-year-old cat.
I was like, I thought that I was supposed to know who Granny Smith was.
no.
First, I'm like, who?
Put that in there for shock value a little bit. Yeah, I think she's been adopted actually though, but
No.
this note is to kind of draw attention to the fact that I've decided I need a cat eventually.
Oh, yes.
And I was like checking every day if she was getting adopted, like she's gonna wait until May.
Like Granny's gonna wait.
Like Granny knows. Granny's 10 years old. Like she's not.
Oh.
So I'm glad she got adopted. But
She is a granny.
that was a lot of conversation my parents and I had about me getting a cat. And then I spent a lot of time doing New Year's prep, which we could talk about briefly because I made a bingo card because Liz made a bingo card. Did a lot of
Influential.
journaling, made some goals, did a healthy amount of ins and outs.
That's awesome.
Some highlights of those being screaming, eating more protein, being conversationally off-putting.
Out or in?
In. These are all in.
Okay.
And then carrying a book around. This one sounds pretentious, but carrying a book around with me instead of scrolling on my phone when I'm in like a waiting room or something. You know, just trying
What
to.
kind of book?
Oh, just
Like one that's like purposely gonna make you seem like really smart?
no, just anything except doom scrolling in
Yeah.
public. That has really.
Well,
taken
and
me a
also
little
like
too far.
it's just like cringe when you see someone like doom scrolling. Like obviously you're doing it at the same time, and usually you don't see other people doing it because you don't like watch them because
Right.
you're doing it yourself.
Right.
But like the idea of watching someone like
Like hunched
hunched over,
over.
like no,
Yeah.
I get it. But if you're reading a book, you're kind
Trying to do a little more of like slower consumption in the new year.
I like that.
Like, or even listening to a podcast while I'm waiting for something. Something that's
Oh,
taking a little
I've been
longer
listening
than
to news podcasts in
just
the morning.
scrolling it up.
I spent a whole like year listening to news podcasts every single morning last year, and
Eva
then
was
this
just
past
telling me about
semester
that.
I was like, I don't, I was listening to more music and stuff in the morning, but now I'm back on my news podcast grind,
What a time.
which is great. I mean, it's
To
just like
return to that.
it's just the daily from the New York Times, and then
Okay.
sometimes I listen to like the Voxes,
Yeah.
like news podcasts, but
Eva and I were just talking about
good.
NPR and Washington Post because they do like short ones in the morning. She listens
Yeah.
to those.
it's nice.
So yeah, those were the highlights of my break.
What's out?
Oh, I don't have that listed, but
Do you have any off the top of your head?
worrying a lot. Something I've been thinking about a lot is that like worrying is like worshiping the problem, and when I saw that, albeit on TikTok, it struck me, and I was like, oh, I don't like how that made me feel because I do that. So worrying, general, and disrespecting my own time is a big one. Like,
yeah, we were talking about
yeah, we
this,
were talking about this. Like, if we made plans, I wouldn't like bail on you last minute or just like decide I'm fully not going to do it, etc. So if I make a plan or want to do something for myself, or like this is when I need to do XYZ, or maybe not doom scroll for 2 hours before I go to bed, you know, just being a little more conscious of my time.
Right, totally.
It's in, so disrespecting it is out. You get it.
Yeah.
I'm off the top of my head here, so.
No,
yeah.
but I mean, I know we want to have a full podcast episode about this, but TikTok is now off my phone because I deleted it the minute it went down because I was like, I'm free.
Yeah.
I'm free finally. I was talking for days before about how my life is going to get so much better with TikTok on, and then they brought it back immediately, but you can't re-download it, so You can't? No, because it's like, you'd still have the App Store, I think.
I did not know that.
So
yeah,
I can't re-download it. Instagram Reels, scary place, and it makes you not want to scroll. So therefore, I've been journaling.
Good.
I've been journaling,
Good
and that was on my bingo card. I put a lot of things on my bingo card were like number based because like that's how I see my goals, like kind of, which is like.
Okay.
I know it's easier to track. It's a little capitalist, but it's easier to track. So it's like 25. Read 25 books.
Right.
Go on 15 hikes. Save $5,000, stuff like that. So it's like, it's easy. Because it's like, if I just put down, like, read more books, in my head, because I'm crazy, I would be like, well, you didn't read enough. Yeah. And then I failed myself.
It's hard to measure.
It's hard to measure things. Anyways.
But the bingo cards were fun. And, yeah I think we should do a whole episode on TikTok
we'll get back to
because...
Because we're just chatting today. We're just chatting today.
And we're keeping the mood high.
Yes. Talking about that, I want to just go over a couple things entertainment-wise.
Yes, please.
Of my binge watching, specifically binge watching. Like, I didn't really watch a lot of shows, but like when I do watch
for
shows,
yourself.
I absolutely binge it, and it was with my roommate. So they're really stupid. Pop Culture Jeopardy. You might not think it's a thing. It is. It's on Freevee.
That's what Houselights is.
Thank you.
Actually.
Colin Jost is the host. Can someone get him a job? Not Pop Culture Jeopardy. Is he in debt?
Rent was due.
Rent was due. And so Pop Culture Jeopardy is basically Jeopardy for dummies. And so me and my 3 roommates, and it's also in teams of 3. So it's like me and my 2 roommates. We've been like really hitting it, and we've been playing along. And low key, if they do another season, we're auditioning because
perfect.
And it's good. We all have different skills, I think. Like, I'm hitting the musical ones. We all were good at the Kardashian part.
I mean,
my good friend Mia, who's awesome, is really good at like the fashion brand stuff.
Okay.
And like fashion houses, and I was like, period. But yeah, really fun. I watched the whole season of it.
Love it.
House Hunters International is the other one that I watched a lot of, and it's just, there's something so comforting about the formula of it that you just look at 3 houses, you hear the people complain, and then in the end, they're very happy with what they chose. And also, there's a formula like to their stories as well, where, especially with international, they're all just picking up and moving across the country. Or I'm sorry, moving across the world, not the country, the world.
Oh.
And they're like, a lot of them are like, oh, like, we don't want to spend that much in rent because we don't have jobs yet. Why are you, what do you mean? What do you mean? But it also made me hopeful because it's like, at any moment, you could just change your life.
That's how I felt about Eat, Pray, Love, which is one of my movies that I watched. But yeah,
it's a good one.
I was like, girl, what are you doing? But then all of a sudden,
you're like, wait,
out.
She's free.
Spoiler alert.
I also watched Monte Carlo, which is like the same thing. It's like Eat, Pray, Love, but for like Disney Channel.
Like teenage girls.
Yeah, teenage girls. Great movie. Oh my God, great movie.
I need to rewatch that.
I think, and it's like, they just sort of drop their lives to do like volunteer work because like that pays literally doesn't. It's in the job description. And the other girl who like is in college and apparently just like hates her life because she's like so straight-laced and stuff, she just goes and backpacks for a whole summer, no job, with this guy she just met. And in my review, I think I wrote like, it's funny that they literally kidnap a person, steal a private jet, and yet the plot still revolves around them getting European boyfriends. And that's why that movie's so awesome. Continue.
It is. Okay, I watched randomly a lot of Tiny Desk concerts, just a lot of YouTube in general. I'm just like gonna say it really loud and proud here. I just love YouTube. I've always loved it. It's a social media for me that will absolutely never go out of style.
Yeah.
So Tiny Desk concerts for that. I had every intention of reconnecting with like Jubilee and Cut videos, but I didn't get around to it.
Oh my god.
See?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Cut's really good. What's your favorite Tiny Desk concert?
Ooh, the Billie Eilish one was really good. I really liked the Marias Tiny Desk concert. That was one I watched. Doechie's was really good too.
Doechie's was really
She's just super
good.
awesome. Yeah, I'm probably forgetting. Sabrina Carpenter's was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Crazy amount of people in her band. It was awesome.
Yeah. If you ever Company Revival Broadway cast Tiny Desk concert, that one's really good.
I finished Yellowstone. Amazing. I binged a lot of Yellowstone. I also finished Suits.
Awesome.
I also binged Nobody Wants This.
Can you give me like a quick review because I really want to watch that? Like
Nobody Wants This?
Yeah, would you
would love it.
Okay.
Okay, Kristen Bell and I believe Adam Brody.
He's so cute.
It was awesome. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did, and I just was informed by my friend that they're doing a season 2, which is amazing.
Wow.
I'm trying to binge Ted Lasso, but I don't have Apple TV, so I'm trying to figure that out.
I got you.
Oh my god. Thank you.
I literally got you. Everyone has my Apple TV password. I wouldn't be surprised if it was leaked to the whole newsroom.
Why don't you just drop it?
I give out my Apple TV like free freaking candy. Like everyone in my family has it, and I'm not dropping it. Sorry.
Okay, well,
I'm not dropping it on
I will be
this.
binging Ted Lasso, and then moving into movies. Eat, Pray, Love, as I mentioned. Crazy Stupid Love, which I rewatched. Interstellar, didn't love it. I'm going to say something controversial.
Wow.
I didn't love it. Well, my brother.
You know who would hate that you just said that? Like Jack. Jack would be like,
whatever.
You just don't understand.
My brother and I were watching it, and then it was just very long. I mean, it was a good movie, but it was so long, and that's that.
Yeah.
And not over break, but I just watched Carry On. And the reason I didn't watch Carry On over break was because I was traveling via aircraft.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to watch it because knowing me, I would panic. So I didn't watch it, but I watched it and I liked it.
That's awesome.
And those are my movies.
So I watched The Substance. It was really, really, really good. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of like body horror, which I usually don't love, and like gore and stuff. But I just like horror movies in general. But it was funny because like there were like crazy moments. There was like blood splurting everywhere and all this stuff, and it's like that was like normal for me. Like I was fine with it. But then there was like this one part where like her like Margaret Qualley's teeth were falling out, and I was like, nope. I had to like.
Love Margaret Qualley. Sorry, not
she's
the
so
time,
great.
but-
Demi Moore is great. I'm pretty sure that they just. I didn't see the Oscar nominations this morning. All I know is that Challengers has actually 0, which is just like so messed up.
I'm sorry,
especially
that must be really hard for you.
Especially for the score, and I was really like banking on that winning. Also, I don't know. Everyone knows this about me. I bet on the Oscars every year. Everyone knows this about me.
I did not know that
I
about
bet
you.
on the Oscars every year, so I do have to watch the nominations like tonight, so I can start getting in my bets now.
You'll be hearing about this.
Gambling's a sin, though. So, I watched Baby Girl. A lot of people have been asking, like the viewers. No, just people in my life. A lot of people have been asking what I thought of Baby Girl.
Tell us.
Too much implied sex.
I need to see it.
Like I was expecting.
I can't believe I just followed what you just said with I need to see it. You said too much implied sex. I go, I need to watch that. What I meant separately is that my roommate saw Baby Girl and I wasn't there. And I've been meaning to watch it.
It was really
not for
good.
the implied sex. Everyone calm down.
Well, see, but I'm worse than you because I'm saying that there was like not enough like.
It's like the gynecologist comment all over again.
I'm sorry.
No,
Houselights is turning rated R right now, and I'm so sorry. But it was good. Just needed a little bit more
actual sex. What is this?
Just like not just like knocking it out. All right. And then I watched It Ends With Us.
For the first time?
For the first time. And I absolutely hated it.
Did you watch it? Okay, let me ask you something, because I highlighted here we need to talk about Justin and Blake, which was the biggest celebrity drama.
I feel like there's too much, and I haven't kept up
There
with
is too much. Here's the thing, though. Did you watch This Is Us because you've read Colleen Hoover before, or did you watch it because of all of the media circulating currently with Blake and Justin?
I did not read it before.
Okay,
I did, however, want to see it before the the drama because
But did you see it before the?
No, I didn't.
So you knew of all the drama. And
I
then
knew
watched
of it. Yeah, I wanted to watch it, but then I
Okay.
just like didn't because like I'm not paying movie theater prices for a Colleen Hoover movie.
See, I saw it before all the drama broke out.
Okay, and what'd you think?
I didn't read the book, and the movie, you could very clearly tell it was an adaptation of the book, which, hey, it's gonna happen. Like, the book is usually always better than the movie. I didn't love it. That's a lie. I had seen a little bit of drama about Blake Lively before I had seen the movie.
Of course, everyone saw like even before like this lawsuit came out, like all the like drama with her interviewing and like her not wanting to talk about domestic violence in
her
a movie.
promoting
That's, like,
her hairline.
And it was funny because of course I
hairline, not her hairline.
Her hairline. But I thought. The way that people were talking about it, I just assumed that domestic violence was like maybe one of the themes in it, and that's why she wasn't talking about it.
No, it was
it's like the actual
plot.
Like it was the full plot of the movie, and it's like okay, so it is ridiculous that she like was shying away from that. So,
but then I heard, and we could also talk about this forever and ever because I've been following this unfortunately way too closely for some reason. But when the lawsuit came out,
okay, Daily Mail,
literally, when the lawsuit came out, it was Blake kind of saying like he, developed like this smear campaign against her, which is why we saw all of that, kind of dirt on her even before seeing it and why people hated her. And then I feel like I read somewhere that there was some contract that she had signed or something that had happened where she wasn't allowed or she wasn't encouraged to talk about domestic violence on the press tour as much. So she was like purposefully keeping quiet. But then Justin Baldoni was. So I don't really know if they just signed different contracts. There's so much to that whole thing. I don't know.
Weird. I don't know, like, because
I don't know
part of it's just like a lot of like communication from both sides. I feel like in a lawsuit, usually your lawyers tell you to like shut up, and then instead there's just like every single day it feels like there's like a new thing.
The New York Times did a really good investigative minute and a half Instagram reel I saw breaking down like what she's suing him, not suing him directly, but suing like the production.
Right. It's because it's not just him. It's like
it's like the production team in a way because they co-directed or co-produced. It's all very messy, and then he claps back with like all these receipts, and then she and then
did you see Jack Schlossberg?
No.
Took him on as a client, Justin Baldoni, and everyone was really mad.
Oh my God.
Because, like, Jack Schlossberg is supposed to be, like, this, like, feminist. He's a Kennedy, and he's, like, an internet persona.
Justin Baldoni's whole thing is that he's a feminist, like, whatever. It's...
Talking about men that are possibly terrible but claim they're feminists, one of the things I wanted to bring up towards the end was I'm noticing an influx of men listening to Clairo and Lizzie McAlpine, at least in my own life. Do you think this is a green or red flag?
I feel like my instinct is to say, I don't know. It's very depends.
I want to say green, but I know that it's...
I feel like, did your girlfriend introduce you to that music?
That's the thing.
Because then...
It's like, who taught you that?
Exactly. Or are you doing this... There's 3 categories. Oh, your girlfriend introduced you to Clairo. That's adorable. I'm so glad you like her. Okay. Or you just were listening to, like, a bedroom pop playlist, and you were like, oh my God, this is super great. You start to kind of, like, happen upon, like, Clairo Elizabeth
That's
Alpine.
green flag.
They're great. Or... you know what works, and you're doing that to populate the demographic of people listening to that. I don't really know. So I would say it's subjective. I can't quite say green or red fully.
Right.
Because I love to give people the benefit of the doubt all too much, I'm probably just going to say it's green, but I'm treading with caution. If I go on a date with a guy and he's like, I love Lizzie McAlpine, I'm going to say, that's super awesome. Why?
So how about you annotate 5 of her songs and come back to me?
Yeah, because...
And what did you take from that?
Like, when you listen to Soccer Practice, sir, what do you think about?
Receipts, MLA format, bibliography.
Right.
No.
Like, oh my God, I love her song, Pushing It Down and Praying. What?
Why?
Now, disclaimer, this is not to say that one form of art or one singer is just for one demographic or one type of person, but it just makes you think. Tread with caution. If a man overly likes Lizzie McAlpine and is also trying to, like, get in your pants. I feel like Claro's different though. For some reason, I'm like, if a guy likes Claro, I'm like, I just want to hug you. Yes.
No, see, and I'm like the opposite because I feel like if a guy
I have
likes
a couple
Claro,
guy friends that like
that's
Claro.
worse. That's worse because like Liz McAlpine, it's like she had her moment on TikTok, she was popular, whatever. But like if you like Claro, like there's so, I can't. I don't know. I don't know.
You can
I don't
like
know.
Claro in like the way that some guys are like, yeah, I just like love like movies and like a what a
I
Jack
consider myself a cinephile.
For some context, Jack's in a class with someone who literally introduced himself as a cinephile, and Jack was like, "Okay, like, where's the black turtleneck? Where's the?"
Yeah, literally.
So if you're like, yeah, like, I like Claro, wink, like, but I have a couple guy friends that like Claro, so I guess that's why I'm feeling like I need to defend them.
You know what?
And I trust them.
Maybe I should just stop judging. 2025, Liz is done judging. That's a lie.
But if
that's not gonna happen.
I don't know. I don't know.
I
guess also we should probably mention we're talking about a very specific type of
yeah,
men.
it's not
all men, guys.
Honestly, not all.
It is.
Honestly, if you listen to Houselights, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because
You know
the people
the type
that listen
of
to
man
Houselights,
we're wary of.
it's me and Claire,
Right.
and that's it. Thank you.
Anyway.
And like our close friend PJ Pfeiffer,
Yes.
and he would know.
Hi, PJ. And he would know. He knows exactly.
He knows exactly what we're talking
PJ
about.
probably likes Claire and Lizzie McAlpine, and that's brilliant.
Oh my God, PJ,
Okay.
we love you.
So let's. Oh my God, perfect segue into music.
Yeah, we need to like wrap up.
We do need to wrap up. We have to go to our other job.
Music. Do you just want to boom?
Yeah, I mainly just listened to my 2024 Apple Wrapped. Okay, did the job. The new SZA album, Love.
Ooh, really good.
This album called Bismillah by Peter Cat Recording Co. I stumbled upon. Incredible.
I'll be listening.
And then just a handful of like Dr. Dog, Radiohead,
Yeah.
Current Joys. I just made a big playlist for my plane ride and just
Love.
fell asleep listening to that. So that's in there.
The last thing that I wanted to say before we go is that me, Claire, and Jack are having movie nights recently.
Yes.
And so you'll be hearing, maybe on his podcast, maybe on ours.
You'll have to listen to both.
You'll have to listen to both. Some of our reviews on that. I just want to say one thing that Claire said after watching Les Mis. She, and I'm going to
forgot.
act like you're not in the room.
I don't even know what you're about to
She-
say.
Like quarter watched this movie while doing other things the entire time, and Jack was like low key like trying to like translate it because you kept asking questions right before the thing that would happen next was happening. So you would ask Jack like, is this gonna happen? And then he would answer it, and then it would happen in like 2 seconds later, and then right at the end she just goes, "Viva la revolution." That's not the message to take away from Les Mis. That's crazy. Anyways, I just wanted to say that because that was one of the funniest things ever, and it did go in my Letterboxd review.
I have a really bad habit of asking what are entirely rhetorical questions, like, oh my God, is he gonna live? Like if someone gets shot in a movie. And Jack finally all loved him. He just goes, I don't know. He knows he's seen the movie, but
so when we watched Hulk, then
obviously he's not going to tell me. And
answering questions.
when I was watching Yellowstone, it's a pretty dramatic show, and I'd be like, oh my God, how could they do that to this group of, like, how could they bomb them? And my dad's like, keep watching. The episode is not over, which I know, logically. So Jack, every, like, couple of scenes, Jack had to be like, so currently, just to help you out here, this is what's happening.
Because not only were you
Basically, like-
asking questions, you were also not, like, particularly watching the movie.
Hulk was even worse. I fully did homework. the
You
entire
fully
time.
didn't watch
I didn't
that.
really like Hulk.
It's a great movie.
But I love our
directed by
movie
Ang Lee.
nights. So I love our movie nights.
Me too. Love. Okay, well,
Closing thoughts?
no, I have none.
I have none either. This was a great
I have
little...
none. I think that
catch-up
we,
sesh.
yeah, we caught up. It's been really hard for us not to talk about like entertainment for the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
But I think some of the next episodes you're gonna see, we're gonna talk about TikTok. We're talking about sweeping thoughts on that topic, as well as I really want to talk about dating reality shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that I watched over break that I didn't want to talk about because I want to do a whole episode on it.
And
so,
yeah, in that vein, I would like to talk about trends or messages on social media that turn people away or toward like dating shows or like online dating, and just like how that rhetoric impacts us all in the modern age.
in the modern age.
And that's been our episode.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna make the last season of Houselights the best one.
So true. Thank you for listening. Thank you for catching up with us.
Bye.
Peace and love. Bye.